Hello and welcome to Chrysalis Invictus Tarot. My name is Elizabeth and I'm here to do your reading today. Our theme is liminal space. So in that spirit, maybe burning some incense, we're going to light a candle. Cleanse your personal space. Bring your awareness down into your root, perhaps to the soles of your feet. Taking long, slow, deep breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. And you see there are 3 options before you, pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. You may choose intuitively by number or by stone. With this blue stone, this purple-ish stone, and this multi-layered stone. So finding peace, finding your breath, choosing your pile from the timestamps below or in the comments. We'll get your reading started. Okay, welcome to your reading. Pile number 1, you chose the blue stone, or the number 1, or you were intuitively guided. So this card right here is going to talk about space. So what is the dominant energy in your liminal space at this time? And I should explain, liminal space is a space between. So in this season, we feel it in spring and we feel it in the autumn. The feeling of this world and the other world merging or being very, very close together. So your dreams may be more vivid or feel more real. This card right here is going to tell me who is guiding you in this space. And then we have some tarot cards for further messages. The first card being what's blocking you, what you need to know at this time that you may not be able to see, and finally, any advice. So we'll start first by checking in with the space that has been set for you at this time. And we have Corvid. Corvid could be a raven, a crow, any bird from the corvid family. I think blue jay might be in that family as well. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. So this is a dark shadow liminal season for you. The corvid is a messenger from the other world, from the underworld especially. And so you may be looking at a situation where the spaces you enter into, the lessons you're learning, come from some dark places. Facing and confronting patterns of addiction, perspective. Within this space, you will be asked to look at other sides of the argument, other perspectives you maybe feel uncomfortable with facing. Much of your work may be happening in your dreams or in journey work, meditation, vision, shavasana after yoga, that sort of thing. But mostly your messages are coming through at night. So you may walk through the day and not really have much going on, and then at night, the space between becomes very active. So you may begin to see shadow people. If there was anything like that happening when you were a child, those things may come back for you at this time. And then who is guiding you? Gaia. So this is an earth energy. There's a heaviness to your step at this time. Perhaps you've been struggling with issues of money or material stability, or struggling with your health. Gaia is a container, she's a space. And so when this energy is guiding you, you are self-guided, but knowing that you are within a container, and that container seems to be night. So you may find being outside at night very helpful through this period, running until November 2nd or even beyond in the shadow period. Let's take a look at what is blocking you at this time. The Four of Wands. There's a delayed celebration. So from Gaia, it could be that there was some work that you were interested in doing, or you had plans for a new home, or perhaps you were working on your body and sustained an injury. Take what resonates. And you cannot see what has come and gone is the message I'm getting for you right now. And that's what's blocking you, is again, this perspective that was indicated by the corvid. What you cannot see, and this will be the most important card perhaps of this reading for you, is the Queen of Wands. You can't, this is interesting. You cannot see your own brilliance. What are you looking at? What are you looking at, pile number one? I'm just going to shuffle the cards and see if I can get an answer for you. What is pile number one looking at? Not at themselves. The Six of Wands. So you're the Queen of Wands looking at the Six. Looking at what you've left. Unable to see that you've grown far beyond this. So for some of you, what I'm getting is that you left a job. You left a job for, maybe it was to start your own business, maybe it was to better your station. So something that felt like a promotion. But there's been some strife. There's been some time of it's interesting that this card really reads as a Six of Swords. I was reading it as a Six of Swords, but this is what I was getting from it. Because they're on a boat, sailing away. This almost reminds me of like a Norse funeral. That you made an ending, you had a departure, And it felt like a victory at the time, but then you lost faith. This is all wands. The 4 of Wands to the 6 of Wands. You've lost faith in yourself somewhere along the way. But at the same time, you've been building and you've been working on becoming this queen. So there'd be a lot of anger and frustration. I am feeling the energy of you're likely a fire sign or have fire dominant in your chart. So let's take a look at what the advice is going forward. The Ace of Swords. Upright or not, you'll be stricken with clarity. When the second full moon passes is the message that I'm getting. So wherever you are right now, when the second full moon passes, there will be a jolt of clarity for you. You'll begin to see yourself as this Queen of Wands. This can be for masculine or feminine. And there's self-destruction as we reap is a line that I'm hearing for you. So there may be part of you that understands that you've held yourself back. Try not to get hung up on that. It happens to all of us. And you have gardenia, awareness. Wake up, roll the clouds away, and look. Yeah, so I'm feeling for you could be that clouded either by sadness or depression. If this is a situation with your health, it could be that you are looking at it like, you started a new regime, you started a new exercise, or you started physio, or whatever it is, you're on the road to recovery, and you are having these victories, but you're not recognizing them because they're not what you're expecting. But you're being asked to shift your perspective. Let's see if we can get any more advice here for you. Devotion, be true and pure in thought and deed. So stick to what you're doing. The Ace is coming. You're in a very strong container in this liminal space. But what you've brought into this liminal space, so let's talk about that. So what you've brought into this liminal space is a card of portals, transformation, celebration, union, divine union with yourself. Victory over these physical battles that you've been fighting, this darkness that you've been fighting, a shift in perspective, a new level of devotion even. And so within this liminal space, you will be given the opportunity to find clarity. Perhaps you set your intention for clarity as you meditate. I feel like there's one more card for you. Can I have one more card, please, for pile number 1, the Bee Goddess. All right, so this speaks of community. There's community in your liminal space. There's community in your devotional practice. There's community in your spiritual practice. Don't be too reliant on other people's opinions, but do honor the the way that people see you. If you are given a compliment, honor how far you've come. Take into your liminal space the ones you love. And know that with this portal energy and with Gaia and with the Corvid, deep transformation is at work here. And deep transformation is not easy. So make forgivences for yourself for that. Wake up, roll the clouds away and look. Be true and pure in thought and deed. That's all I have for you, pile number 1. Have a lovely day. Welcome to your reading, pile number 2, with this purple stone. So the first card is going to tell me what it looks like in your liminal space. So your liminal space is the space between this and the other world, your consciousness, unconsciousness, the space between life and death, our experience of visions, dreams. All of that is considered liminal space. This card right here is going to tell me what energy or entity is guiding you in this space or through this space. This first card right here will tell me what's blocking you. The second, what you cannot see or what you need to know. And the third is any advice that the cards have for you at this time. So we'll start with the environment card. Taking a look, this is from the Liminal Spirits deck. We have metal. Ooh. So normally when we think of metal, we think cold, but this is a warmed up hot metal. This is the metal of a forge. This is formative. You, pile number 2, are using this Mars retrograde. Your spirit is using this Mars retrograde as food, as fuel. And you will travel through many emotions, many layers of emotions through this period. When I say this period, it can be any time that you're entering into liminal space, but right now I'm filming during October, on our way into Samhain. The 3 days of Samhain are from October 31st to November 2nd, and they are considered outside of time and space. And the time leading up and the time after can often feel, you'll hear people say the veil is thin. The veil is always thin, but there's more communication between worlds. So this would be when people speak of seeing fairies, more shadows, more ghosts, that sort of thing. For you, there's deep presence in the gut. So you may be feeling very sensitive, that your stomach is very sensitive, or that your stomach is very reactive to the things and people around you. The environment around you is warm, but sometimes uncomfortably warm. You may be feeling a little bit smothered in this space by anything that's too close to you. I'm getting a Sagittarius energy from this card. Let's take a look at who's guiding you. Artemis and her bow. So Artemis is the Roman goddess of the hunt. And she has here a companion. She's aiming for a target. This is the directive. Again, this is very lower chakras. So we're looking here at what's at work in your liminal space is your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus. So triggering your ancestry, triggering your creativity, triggering your sense of power, self-identity. It could be that you had a very strong sense of self and that is now being broken down, or that you had a very weak sense of self and that is now being built up. So whoever is watching this pile, you will be two sides of the same coin. So one will apply to one of you. Not that there's only two people watching this, but there are two types of people watching this. And so some of you will be built up at this time, and some of you will be broken down, but broken down in a good way to be reformed. So this hunt gives you directive. It gives you a path. It gives you a purpose. And what is the blocked energy that you've brought into this liminal space? We have the Chariot. So you've been moving in several different directions. One is your own and one is perhaps your own, but your own based on your interpretations of outside perspectives on your life or expectations on your life. You've been driven before, but you've driven down the paths that weren't meant for you. And so this time in this space is helping you to see that. It's shining a light. It's shining a more focused light on exactly what your calling is. It seems to me that the answer was easy, and that's why you didn't expect it. Wow, big energies in this reading. So what you cannot see is judgment. You cannot see what is beyond the next threshold because it goes straight into this liminal space. And it's almost reflective or the opposite, where it gets light in the center, this gets dark in the center. So you're moving into this new way of being. And what is beyond is not for you to know or to control. What you can control is your trajectory, the way in which you're moving, the way in which you're building your skills, the way in which you are behaving. So you can be focused and directed in your intention without knowing how. I think the key here is not knowing how. Because there are forces greater than you at work here in this space. And finally, your advice is to get right with your emotions. To seek to find comfort in the water that is within yourself. Maybe it's your romantic side. Maybe it's just your schmoopy side. But the King of Chalices is very secure in himself emotionally. He does not feel ashamed for feeling. And so this liminal space, this liminal time is teaching you how to be your own emotional guide as well. It seems like there will be some clear vision, but also some swirling. There's a lot of swirling energy here. So there's this swirling, but you are to be focused through the center, driving yourself at the heart. See, there's all of this. Oop, that's gone forever. There's this driving into the center of the spiral, driving into the center, focusing in. So letting the chaos swirl around you and not being dragged in. The energies right now really favor that. So these are all aligned with what's going on at this time. But if you're watching at another time, that's okay too. It's still that, imagine a spinning and you are shooting right straight through the center. So all of the details, you don't know where they're going to land, but you are still and remain focused. Let's get some language of flower cards for you. Resignation. Say goodbye to what you no longer need. So this is this burning away, this melting away, either of the ego or of self-doubt, depending on which side of the coin you land on. And the Peruvian lily. Look again at the colors. Absolutely. So if you do energy work, if you're doing any meditations, go on YouTube and find, I guess you're on YouTube now. So when this video is over, find some meditations that work with the solar plexus chakra, first and foremost for you, all the way down to sacral and root. Because there's a lot to do with your identity that is now forming or that is now being shaken loose. And you have the Peruvian lily. Strength, more effort will get you what you want. So again, this is clear, strong directives. Don't stop to... This emotional strength is key, because if you stop to doubt yourself, if you get caught up in an emotional downslide, I don't know how to say it, but if you get dragged away by the current, I guess is another way of putting it, that will drown out this initiative. And so in this liminal space, you've been brought here with that focus. So everything that you're doing right now, set clear intentions. Set clear intentions. Remember to say goodbye to what you do not need. More effort will get you what you want. And that's what I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, welcome to your reading, pile number 3. You chose this interesting layered stone, perhaps, or just the number 3, or you are guided here. So the liminal space, I should explain first, is a space between. It is a space between this world and the other world, your conscious and subconscious. It's where you dream. It's where you have visions. It's where you go if you dissociate. It's a space of in-between. So anytime that you're in between this or that, you could look at it as a crossroads. We're going to see what the environment of your liminal space is like with this card. With this card, we're going to see who's guiding you. And with these cards, you received 4. So we're going to see what the messages are. The first card is what's blocking you, or what blocks you've brought into this liminal space. What you need to know that you cannot see at this time. Outcome. And additional card. So perhaps 2 outcome cards, or perhaps 2 things you cannot see at this time. So let's take a look first at your... I guess I'll move these into shot. There we go. Let's take a look at your liminal spirits card for environment, desert. All right, so this is not a space that you've been tending to. Perhaps you've spent a lot of time outside of your imagination, or feeding your intellect, or on autopilot, but everything in your liminal space is living on stored energy. So this could mean that you feel energetically depleted. This could be that the things around you feel dead or lifeless. There's several different options for that. Sorry, my phone went off. So it could be that I feel that you're weary. And you're drawing out energy from anything you can get it from, but you're fairly depleted. And so your liminal space is undernourished. It hasn't been getting any attention. So, and that's, it happens to all of us. This is not me judging or saying like, you haven't meditated, you should feel shame about that. Like, it's okay. It's really okay. Let's see who's guiding you and let's see what we can. All this means is that there's more that we can help with. Series. All right, so this is a Roman goddess of the grain. She's also known as Demeter or Demeter in the Greek tradition. This is a goddess of harvest. But there's also, she has the astrological wheel around her. So there's this sense of, so either you will be very guided through astrology at this time, or by the passing of the seasons and paying more attention to the way marking time, either by astrology or acknowledging the seasons in some way. You're guided here to open your crown chakra, that there is some gunk in the way, that there is a lot that needs to be harvested, or there is a lot for you to harvest once you access this space. So it's sort of like when you tap into one of these cactuses, there's this there'd be like water inside, or if you've ever opened an aloe, there's like that lovely nutrient goo inside, and that those things still exist. So it's not that you've like dried up completely or that there isn't anything there for you. There absolutely is. Let's take a look at what's blocking you. Let's move through these cards and see what's going on here. So we have the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles, it really represents generosity, sharing, a kind heart. So this kind heart, yes, so my original suspicions about you are true. We have here we have here a person who is helping others and who is helping them first before helping themselves, who is nurturing, is being a mother energy to the detriment of herself. It's drying her up. And this could be male, female, it doesn't matter. I'm using her because I'm talking about the goddess here. But there are fruits that you have that it's almost like you think you have to get it from someone else, but it's only because you're giving them away. And so I look at this little boy here, and he's standing on 5 pentacles, and he's giving this girl 1 pentacle, and she thinks, oh, thank you for the pentacle. But she gave away her 5 pentacles, and that's why she needs his 1 pentacle. And above her is all of this fruit, this shiny fruit. Above her, above in the crown chakra. So revitalizing, rejuvenating through connecting up to the crown. You can take a look. You're on YouTube already. Take a look at crown meditations, opening the crown. Do it safely, do it with a teacher, do it with a guide, so that you know how to close it off again, but no, don't fully close it. Don't dry yourself up. But you need some nourishing. That's what I can tell. I'm not here to scold you. You just need you need some love. We have the Empress. So these cards I'm not going to read reverse because they're not technically reversible, but I will note that they have been reversed. The Empress is a very similar energy to what's guiding you. So what's guiding you is you, in a way. You're being guided by the very energy that is your dominant energy, which is mothering, which is nurturing. And so what you cannot see is that you possess this power. Again, it's that it's when we look over here and we look at her receiving this one pentacle, like you have a whole farm of pentacles. You don't need to get them from anybody else, but you're giving them away, or you may be leaking them as well. That can happen as well. Very earthy energy here. But again, we see her connecting with the stars above her. So it could be that astrology is a big deal for you guys, or that could be a way of opening the crown chakra, or a way of maybe dipping your toe into a spiritual practice. And that could be, it doesn't have to be checking a simplistic sort of horoscope every day, but it could be checking in with, where the sun's at, where the moon's at, what phase are we in right now, what's in retrograde, that kind of thing. Because we have the stars here and we have that here, both with this earthy energy, abundant harvest grain energy. This is your season. And so you're entering into this liminal space depleted, but you have all of this nurturing energy. So if you pull inside of yourself and you pull from yourself, you'll have more. This is why you got 4 cards now, pile number 3. It's all making sense. So let's see what this card is about. The 10 of Chalices. Yes, I love this for you. The 10 of Chalices is emotional fulfillment. This is going to water your desert, although the desert wants to be a desert. But in this case, we want the desert to be a jungle. We want it to be abundant. We want it to be fruitful. We don't want to feed off of cactus juices. We want the real deal. And so this could mean that within this space you find, in this liminal space, you find this fulfillment. Let's take a look at the last card and see. The 6 of Chalices. Oh, this could be love. All right, so if you're single, this could be you finding in this liminal time. So this runs from October 31st to November 2nd is the time of Samhain, where you are fully in between. But the liminal space right now that we're sort of in already is October, November, but you can watch this at any time. Anytime that you're guided, you are in this space. You are in that in-between space where you're more intuitive, you're feeling your dreams more intensely. So let's talk about 10 of Chalices and 6 of Chalices, okay? These are the two, like, true love, soulmate, wonderful cards. The 6 of Chalices brings up something that feels comfortable, something that feels like home. The 10 of Chalices is the feeling of that beautiful home. So it could be someone comes back from your past. It could be someone that feels like they're from your past. So if you've ever met someone, or you will meet someone who feels like it's comfortable, you don't have to explain yourself to them. They just get who you are, and you get who they are, and you have this beautiful fulfillment. And so you're no longer needing to worry with this person. So this is if you're single. If you are in a relationship, it could be that you're coming into this in your relationship, or you're coming into a time when you're going to be making choices about that relationship. So in this situation with the 6 of Pentacles, this was reversed. So I'm taking that into account. You have a 6 and a 6 here. The 6 is also a card of walking away. But in this case, with the 6 of the Pentacles and the 6 of Chalices, this is emotional and material generosity. So this person is not going to take from you in the way that you've been taken from before. They're not interested in your energy. There's an even flow of reciprocal energy. So you came in to this liminal space depleted. You came into this liminal space with abundant energy that you just couldn't seem to access. And through this relationship or through this connection or through this connection with yourself, so that it could be the masculine and feminine within you balancing itself out. You learn to feed yourself love. You learn to feed your inner child that love that they need. So if you are in a space of self-work, don't read this as a relationship reading. This could be you fully nourishing that child self that needs that love, and then coming into this emotional fulfillment. But either way, you're not going to need to take that pentacle from anyone else. You're not going to look to someone who gives you the bare minimum and go, thank you for that scrap because I feel so drained. You're going to be a full cup in yourself, a full harvest in yourself. And again, I just really feel like looking to astrology, looking to the stars. I think of the desert at night and how you can see all of the stars in the sky. And we have geranium, virility. Shake it up a little. You've got this. So don't be afraid to change your patterns, change your habits. Say no. I just want to say it's not nice to say yes if you don't want to do something. So keep that in mind. And African violet, spirituality. It's time to connect with what you believe. Yeah, living with your integrity. You know, it could be that one of the things that depletes you is that you put other people's needs over your own. And that's not necessarily on them, that's on you, right? So coming into this liminal space, you're bringing with you beautiful, nurturing energy. You have with you two beautiful cards of emotional and physical fulfillment, the beginnings of that, of victory in both, coming into a new space in your heart, and then finally the 10 of chalices. So something emotional that you have been working on is going to snap into place. So as you're setting your intentions, keep a focus on virility, shake it up a little, you've got this. And spirituality, it's time to connect with what you believe. So again, that crown chakra, but also your spiritual practice, not just your crown chakra. And I'm also receiving the message that your mind works very quickly. And so it will be really important during this time to slow that down, to become more private. And if you are interacting with other people, to just listen, or to be honest with people if you don't feel like you have the capacity to listen or talk to anyone about something, just being very honest with them about that. And you will notice if someone is not okay with that, maybe not their initial reaction, but over time, because sometimes people can react to something and that's not their full feeling. But if someone is unreasonable about you needing to take that space, then that's something to take a look at. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. I'm so happy for you. This sounds amazing. Please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you later.